again, and welcome to another episode of I Was There Last Night, because I was there last night. See? Got it. Last night, September 22nd, 2016, at the Summit Music Hall in Denver, Colorado, I saw Trivium Sabaton featuring Huntress. And I don't really have much of a voice today, and my neck is sore, which means it must have been an awesome show. First band out was Huntress. I don't know a ton about these guys, just a little bit here and there, so seeing them live is going to be a good exposure to them. First impression I can give, these guys are shredders. That is absolutely, they're no-nonsense, pure heavy metal. You also get some interesting vocals from Jill Janis, just the way that she sings as well as screams and does this whole very much, like an 80s metal, scream metal type of band. One of the songs that really stuck out besides Flesh, which you'll hear in a minute, is a song that actually the lyrics were written by Lemmy Kilmister, and the title of the song is just so appropriate for something that Lemmy would write. It's called I Want to Fuck You to Death. Great song. She definitely got the crowd going. This was a great way to open the show because even though they might not have been the popular band there, they certainly got the crowd fired up. They got them ready to go for Sabaton. That's definitely what you want from an opening band. You want them to come out, have a great time, but not overshadow anybody. But they certainly held their own. I thought they did a fantastic job, had a great set, and gave some exposure to people who might not have it so far. So let's watch a clip from Flesh. And then came Sabaton, and this crowd loved Sabaton. It was definitely the main attraction, and that's no disrespect to Trivium, the headliner of the show, but Sabaton was definitely had a vocal crowd there. They opened with Ghost Division, which is one song that I was hoping that they would play, and so when they played it right off the bat, I knew it was going to be a good night. They played a lot of songs off their new album, a few selections, obviously to promote their new album, which just came out recently, and which I have a Spin Cycle review for, which you can watch. Songs included Sparta, which was a fantastic song, Lost Battalion, Winged Hussars, just to name a couple that they played off of their new album, and definitely, it was awesome to see that the crowd knew the words to all these songs already. This album's only been out for like a month, and so the crowd was definitely showing them just how much they loved their music. Sabaton's new guitarist also held his own, even though he chose Swedish Pagans as his special song. The band had a little bit of a fun reaction to when he chose Swedish Pagans, but the crowd absolutely loves that song, so they got into it. They had a great time with that song. A couple other highlights, they played To Hell and Back. That's one of those songs that it's such a bizarre song and yet so much fun, and the crowd absolutely lost their shit during this song. It was a fantastic, absolutely great song, and to see the camaraderie of the crowd during this set. So they played Night Witches and Primo Victoria to close out the show and just to cap what was an excellent night. This crowd was absolutely insane for Sabaton, and that was a sight to see, and I know that you could see on the faces of the band that they were absolutely floored by the reception that they got from this crowd in Denver. So a lot of kudos to the crowd for giving Sabaton a warm welcome and keeping that energy throughout their entire set. Last and definitely not least was Trivium. Trivium is a band I've been listening to since Ascendancy first came out, so I've been listening to them for 10, 12 years. Although I haven't listened to their newer stuff as much. They went in a different direction, and I just have been listening to other things. So some of the songs that they played I wasn't as familiar with, but I did know them at least. They did focus on their new album quite a bit, but that didn't mean they didn't pull from some of their old classics. Matt Heafy also wanted to challenge the crowd to get play on our egos and basically say, well, his best crowd was in Baltimore, so can we beat that? And obviously, Denver is going to do what they can to live up to that expectation. I was certainly glad to see him play some old favorites, especially songs off of Ascendancy. Arguably my 3 favorite songs off of Ascendancy: Pull Harder on the Strings of Your Martyr, Gunshot to the Head of Trepidation, and Rain. So hearing those 3 songs was fantastic to get just that old school Trivium feeling. And then they dug even deeper into their catalog and they played a song off of Embers to Inferno. They played Pillars of Serpents, and that one was insane. The pit for that one was crazy. Everybody was just having a great time. It was absolutely bonkers. I was just so happy that they played something off of Embers to Inferno. And then Trivium just has great musicianship. They are a fantastic band. Each member of their band is extremely talented. The guitarist, Matt Heafy, Corey, and bass player, Paolo, they've been together for a long time, so they have that chemistry and they work so well together. But they also got a great drum solo from Paul Wanke to close out the night before the encore. So just across the board, this band, they are fantastic musicians, and the crowd absolutely loved it. And they ended with In Waves, and it was a rousing set, a rousing way to end the night. Just get people fired up and, just one last, bruiser for the night. And I think, it was absolutely the most appropriate song for them to play to end out their show. Overall, this was an excellent show. It gave me some exposure to a band I don't know too well, and 2 bands that I absolutely love. They played a lot of stuff that I absolutely love, so I didn't want for nothing at the end of this show. I also have to say, I am impressed by the crowd, and not just their reaction to Sabaton and Trivium, but also just their general attitude during the show was just fun, energetic. There was a great circle pit going during Trivium that lasted the entire set, so, the crowd was intense, and it's a great show because it means that these bands are going to want to come back to Denver. When they see the attitudes that we bring, they're going to want to come back. And I also have to point out, there's a little girl, probably like 8 or 9 years old, who was on her dad's shoulders, and they made their way into the pit, and just seeing a group of people just kind of make a wall around her to make sure that she was protected in that pit was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So again, kudos to Denver for making this an awesome show. I'm very proud of Denver, that's all I gotta say. These are 3 very different bands, and yet they fit really well together, so I thought this was a fantastic bill, and obviously I'm probably not going to see something like this again, but just given the opportunity to see Sabaton and Trivium together and adding in Huntress was just an awesome night. This was a great show, and I absolutely loved every minute of it. It might have been one of my favorite shows of this year. If you were there last night, let me know what you thought of the show. Otherwise, leave some comments if you like the videos I took from the show. And that's it for this episode of I Was There Last Night, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, you can click over here to subscribe to my channel, or you can check out my website over here at dkestner.com, where you can find out more about everything I do, including the books I've written, like Elliot Knoll, and so many others. So thanks a lot for watching.